Hey, and welcome to the QB Show, starring Woody Adams, Don Brolin, and myself, Stacy Kildall. We'd like you to take a minute to visit our sponsors. Our show is brought to you by the following: Avalara.com, an amazing sales tax engine to help you make sales tax less taxing. Exact Online, an online inventory solution specializing in manufacturing and distribution. Tsheets.com, an amazing time tracking solution. Skyline from UnidataIT.com, QuickBooks and software hosting. And Zencash.com to help manage your accounts receivables. We hope you enjoy the show.
Live. Oh, excellent. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free QuickBooks. This is a Google Hangout edition without the actual dial-in or cool music. That's one thing that we're missing right now, but we have since left Blog Talk Radio, and now we are just streaming live on Google Hangouts. And you should see right now, if you actually go to the YouTube page from RadioFreeQB.com or theqbshow.com, you will be able to watch the show if you want to. And right now we're showing our sponsor list. But before we get to sponsors, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Myself, Woody Adams, I'm a longtime product specialist with Intuit, dealing with QuickBooks and QuickBooks-related things. And while Intuit is not affiliated with the show, opinion statements or views that I express in the show might not necessarily represent opinion statements or views of Intuit, but they're usually pretty close. But I just have to always say that before we start. And then, of course, on with us tonight as well, Don Brolin. Don, how's it going tonight?
You know, I'm great. You know, I've actually had a pretty busy week, I got to be honest. We had the Intuit reseller program MSNBC spot on Sunday morning, so that was pretty exciting. You know, I think that there's
talk about that a little. What is that? What was that? I've never heard of that.
Well, it was pretty cool. Went out to Monterey, California, and helped a jewelry company, and the Intuit reseller program was so awesome. I had the producer call me and ask if we could help out with a point of sale system, and the Intuit reseller program, Marie Archuleta and Simon Pass just came through big time. So I flew out there in March, and we filmed the show, and been talking to the company actually every week for the last, you know, however long that is. It seems like forever, but it's been about 6-7 weeks since we've been there. And the show aired on Sunday, and Chris from Bodhi Tree was also involved in the show, and it was just really super fun. And I don't really think that the camera puts on 50 pounds. I think it puts on 200. I think that they're inaccurate in their estimate on that. Yeah, nice shirt. I love that.
Yeah, is that
I
cool?
like that shirt, Woody. I actually kind of want. I don't think I have
conference
one of those.
booth shirt. No, it's one of the new ones.
I like
from
that.
New York.
I've got my T-Sheets sweatshirt. I call it a sweatshirt, but it's you know, really an awesome shirt. And of course, to the core, I have my Intuit shirt on as well, because that's what you do. But anyway, so that was on Sunday, and the Intuit App Center was one of the, you know, really involved because of Bodhi Tree. So I love how it kind of all came together. It was really exciting. Not exciting to see yourself on TV, but whatever. You know, I dealt with it. It had Dawn Brolin hair, and it kind of stuck up in the back, and it was horrifying to me.
Nice.
But then, so what Saturday night was Emily's prom, which was
cool. I saw those pictures.
So that was rocking, and it was just a great day, and so that was fun. And then this morning, she got her learner's permit.
Wow.
So she's now a driver here in Connecticut. So one of you listening who might happen to drive in the quiet corner, I should start posting when we're on the road, kind of thing. She's actually a really good driver, and she's very careful and cautious, and not like her mother. And of course, for the last week or so, she's pointed out every fault of my driving, which is about every second. Wow. Because I don't drive like you're supposed to. I'm just honest about it. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to. But I want to say one thing, Woody. I hope that people aren't bored yet with what I'm saying. But today, I went and had to load View My Paycheck version 2, V2.
Yeah, how did that
So
work
you got to
out?
be ready for that because effective Monday, March 31st, okay,
Right.
View My Paycheck number 1 is not going to work out. But what I thought was awesome, if you just, actually, I think I went to Google. I'm pretty sure I just went to Google and said, View My Paycheck, V2, or, I don't know, because Christine wanted copies of her pay stubs, which I think is aggressive. I think she's really stepping out and asking a lot. Just kidding. And so she was like, hey, and I'm like, I know I've got to upgrade my View My Paycheck by March 31st. And I went out to Google and I said, well, how do I do it? Because in the desktop, you have to, there's some steps you have to take. And actually it's a Intuit, if you go to Intuit, the website's kind of weird. It's just called static.onlinepayroll.intuit.com. Learn more, whatever.
I was going to share it out. Let me share it out while you're talking.
Yeah, do that. So if you go to this article, it's a really, really good article because you can go to it. It says turn on View My Paycheck in QuickBooks, and it says how. Yep, right there. It says how, and you click on it. It tells you what to do. Manage payroll cloud services in the desktop. I didn't even know it was there. So you just go up to the employee menu down to payroll cloud services, and I never really, I've never even seen that in the menu.
Make sure you're on the latest release. I'll go ahead and get that open while you're talking too. Yeah,
so that's also critical. You got to be on the latest release, which of course I host with Unidata. That's where my data file is. Right. And so I went to go, and I have I don't pay attention to when they do their updates. I know they do their releases, at certain times, and they can't just, randomly upgrade people. Like they actually have their systems in place, right? Which is super funny. But they do. They have it together. So they've got, QuickBooks is up to date for the latest release, and I was able to very seamlessly go in and get ready for that. And for those people who may not even know it exists, is a whole other story. But View My Paycheck 2, the second version, is like pretty smooth. And you just have to put in your PIN for your normal payroll processing and all that, which it's just really smooth and cool. But people would not normally know it's there. So you go to the employee menu.
Manage payroll cloud services.
Yeah, which I never noticed before.
Gotcha.
And so that was rocking cool. And so that was
cloud services, and then
Yeah, and you have to just agree to whatever the terms are that no one reads.
Right.
Put your PIN in.
Right, and confirm a PIN. And create a PIN for yourself, and then click Save Changes. So this document actually did work, because I've been sending it to people, because the previously uploaded paychecks to VMP1, View My Paycheck, VMP1 do not transfer over, so you have to upload them again. And that's like step 3, I guess. After you turn it on, step 3. And then you have the employees start using the new VMP portal, and all you need to do is run payroll and click send. So, and then here's how they go. Here's the employees. Once you start sending paycheck info to Intuit, just give your employees the website, paychecks.intuit.com. They use their existing account and password, which is nice.
Well, so what was interesting.
Did it work? How did it work, Don?
Yeah, it worked perfect. I mean, I had it sync and did whatever it did, sent the data, and of course it does some recommendations on the number of pay stubs that you send, which was weird because you go to File, Print Forms, Pay Stubs, and that's how you send them online, which I thought was pretty cool. So they're already incorporating a function that they're already doing. And then I emailed Christine and said, hey, listen, I went ahead and did the View My Paycheck thing, and let me know if you don't see everything. And I actually got the notification from View My Paycheck that said that she joined the version 2. So she didn't have to email me. It notified me automatically. It's very cool.
Oh, it has to be longer than 8 characters. Gotcha. Between 8 and
12. You actually already have to have a PIN.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably have it from the old.
Yeah, I have it. I already have it from the original View My Paycheck. Actually, the PIN works with your direct deposit or sending payroll. So I do direct deposit, and so I use that direct deposit PIN. Okay. So I think there is a setup process. Don't get me wrong. There is a setup process, and but it was smooth as silk for me. It was awesome. Okay. I was pumped. Didn't even need help.
So
And,
use
I'm
this
challenged.
article because there is a contact us, but the chat, they're not calling back. So just you call payroll
Yeah.
support if you have any issues, and they're
Right.
resolving issues with VMP to view my paycheck. But nice. So I actually went. I mean, how you get to this link? This is a rather long link. I wonder if you could even Google it.
I
view my
Googled it,
paycheck.
Woody.
Okay.
That's exactly what I did. I said, view my paycheck too.
Good.
Help. And it
Okay.
came up. I clicked on it. I mean,
Nice.
minutes, Woody. Which, you know
Nice.
me. I'm very
I know.
impatient. You know.
No, that's awesome because I have it as a bookmark because I've been getting a lot of questions on it. So I'm glad. I'm glad for that. Very exciting. Good to know about that. Thank you. That is a key topic right now. And I guess Stacy's in. Stacy, can you hear us?
I can.
Nice.
Oh, we can hear you.
So
There
you
you
guys,
are.
you guys should see my setup right now. It's not the
Not traditional.
it's not the prettiest. I'm gonna say that. I'm actually participating in our chat for the show on one computer, and I had to log in with my Mac so that we could actually talk. So this is all really a little sketchy. So I'm having technical difficulties, of course, because it's me, because I'm the one who set all this up and thought I had everything all down and ready, and I have
It's rocking. Stacy, you did amazing. I just want to tell you. Like, if it was us, I would be having tin cans and a string. I'd be like, can you guys hear me? I mean, because that's, it's awesome.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm using my Mac, so I have like the worst camera. It's really sketchy and jerky.
Give me worse than mine.
So, I got that going for me.
Mine's all hazy.
Wow.
It's a soft lighting, like a Barbara Walters lighting. Woody.
Does mine look okay?
Yours is beautiful, very crisp, very clean,
It is.
gorgeous.
It's crisp. My T-Sheets sweatshirt, and you have your T-Sheets T-shirt on.
Nice.
You feel soft right now. I know you do.
I do feel very soft, and also I had to put my hair up in a ponytail because it was a little too much red with the shirt and the hair.
It would connect.
It was a little much, I'm gonna say.
Well, it's good seeing you both. I'm glad we're in here, so you didn't have to dial in. Hopefully, no one was dialing into Blog Talk because we're not there anymore. And
yeah.
Stacy, can you explain again how someone actually comes here just to watch or listen, or just listen with it minimized?
So I'm so excited about how we decided to do this. So what we decided to do was eliminate Blog Talk Radio, and one of the reasons is because we've been having some difficulties with them. The audio quality has never really been the greatest, as we've had many people complain, and so we decided. I've been wanting to do Google Hangouts side by side, or along with the show for a while, and I finally talked Woody and Dawn into it about a month ago, and so this is kind of our soft launch with what we're now calling the QB Show. We've rebranded, and it's very simple. The new website is theqbshow.com. It's actually going to redirect you to radiofreeqb.com. So the same old website that we're used to, and you'll just go to radiofreeqb.com/live, and you'll be able to watch live and chat live all in one page. And the great thing about this that I'm really happy about is it's the same link, it's the same page every week. For the show, so you don't have to worry about finding the link and getting to the right show or any of that. It's just the same place every week. So really, really excited about that. You can also always go to the YouTube page. A link to that'll be right at the top of our website as well, but that won't have that live chat that we have always had, and that's such a huge part of the show and that our listeners really, really like. And I think that's probably one of my favorite aspects of doing the show live, is that we get to talk to the listeners as well.
Hey, Stacy, I want to do a quick test. Charlie's actually listening on Quick Blocks or something like that. He's watching, I mean. And I wasn't sharing. I was sharing, but he didn't. I don't think I clicked on me to share because it does weird stuff. So I want to know if you guys are able to see
We
QuickBooks
can now.
Okay.
Yep.
So Charlie was wondering what I was sharing, and I'm back here in, here we go. I'm going to go to my folder for desktop payroll and then all the way down to view my paycheck. But I think Dawn, just from Google, she just, oh gosh, you don't know. Okay.
I can't even imagine. I have ADD. I would never make it through that website, through that list.
View my paycheck 2, support. Yep. Turn on welcome to view my paycheck.
That's exactly how I did
it. That's where I got it. So, Charlie, if you can email me again or and see if you're seeing this, because I think the person sharing out on Google Hangouts has to click on his own view, or someone else does in order for people to see it.
I'm
not sure, but Dawn, you're seeing it, and then Stacy's seeing it, and but Charlie wasn't, and I don't know how he's looking at it. Are we going through YouTube, or are they going? I don't even know what QuickBlocks is.
No, QuickBlocks is just the chat. QuickBlocks has nothing to do with the show. QuickBlocks is simply just the chat room. And so right now it looks like your internet is a little sketchy because I don't see you in the screen at all, just so that you know.
Well, no, it's good to test these things out. Just wanted to check it out. And so we got the VMP2, and then in QuickBooks, again, for those who didn't see it, under, like Don said, under Employees, Manage Payroll Cloud Services. And you just put in your PIN and save and then send the data up, including your prior paychecks, because they don't just convert over from View My Paycheck 1 to View My Paycheck 2. And honestly, this has been such a big issue over the last 2 months. I would say I've known about it for about 6 weeks. So as Don mentioned, it changed over the end of March. So we're already towards the end of May. So I'm already 2 months behind. But we might have mentioned it on the show, but being able to actually show the support article, because it's nice to walk through it. Very important to walk through the steps down below. Ready to switch? You guys all are, because it's past March 31st. And that's that one. Good stuff. So I'm going to stop sharing, because it's crazy, crazy on my screen when I do that. And I have to quickly move because it just goes on and on forever. I get the monitor infinitum. You know what I'm talking about? That issue, monitor infinitum. You guys ever heard of that? I had it. And then, Dawn, are you muted? Dawn must be muted or something. I can't hear you guys anymore.
Stacey always mutes me.
You know
gotcha.
Here's why. No, here's why. I have to mute when Woody is screen sharing. I have to hide you and I from the broadcast because the Google Hangout wants to move the camera to whoever it hears sound from. So when you're screen sharing, I hide us, and so it ends up muting us. So that's why. I'm just trying to make it work for everybody.
Oh,
you know what? That's why we need you so desperately. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm trying to make it work.
That's what's happening. It's flipping from my screen back to Dawn's face. Gotcha. Whenever someone talks. Okay. And Charlie's watching it from radiofreeqb.com/live. Nice. I'm glad that's working at least. Very cool. Yeah, so let's get to some cool questions.
Ready we got
for
some
that.
Good questions.
We do have some good ones. We might want to... Now, is Joe coming on tonight, or is that next week? I was confused.
He said that he's supposed to be coming on tonight, yes.
Okay, good. So, all right. Now, here's something, Dawn. This will be a fun one for you, and then I got one for Stacy. Reimbursement basics for a business that rarely does them. My colleague and I made a presentation together. So let's say Dawn and Stacy did a presentation on QuickBooks for something.
Sure.
And Dawn spent $200 on materials, which she paid for the whole thing. Then she gave Stacy a copy of the receipt, and Stacy wrote Dawn a check for $100.
Yeah.
So how do I record the payment? Should I have a special expense line item for reimbursements? Is there a way to link it to the original expense so that later on I don't see this as a customer payment, but as an expense, etc.? So, Dawn, thoughts on this?
Well, I could rabbit hole it, but I'm not going to do that.
Good. All right.
What I'm going to say is that I would actually, if it was me and I paid for it, I would have Stacy, if she gave me the check, I would deposit it obviously into my bank account, because that's what you do, and I would offset whatever account that I had originally paid the $200 for. And you know, it's probably, especially if Stacy and I are doing this often, we're doing you know, either travel expense, or we're doing, you know, cost of conference fees or cost of conference expenses or whatever, you know, it could be anything. I would offset that $200 with her $100, and that way the net ends up being $100. I'm not making money from it, so it's not a revenue item I would track. It would just be an offset to the expense. Now, obviously, if someone's posting, well, you know, I paid for, you know, the food for it, I paid for some supplies, I did this, I would not encourage them to split up that $200. I would say, hey, listen, if we're doing something together, it's part of our cost of goods sold of sorts, and she's reimbursing me for part of that. And that's how I would do it. I could rabbit hole much more than that, but I'm not.
That's great. I weighed in.
It's a simple question.
And said, well, I mean, I'm assuming that you already entered the $200 into QuickBooks, you know, crediting the checking account and debiting some kind of expense for materials. And then I forgot what I said about the payment, the $100. Oh, if you use the same account, it's just going to make that expense $100, right? Because it's going to credit that expense and it's going to debit your right. Gotcha. Thank you, Don. I should have just shut up. You know,
no, Woody, you're a thought leader, and I want to see that. Except the pillow is kind of throwing me off a little bit. I got to be honest.
You're a thought leader.
I don't have a signs up behind me, so I put some kind of color thing, so it wouldn't just be a blank white wall. But you know, it's funny. I found I shared something cool on Facebook that said sometimes my greatest accomplishment is just to not talk.
Oh. That's
That's your greatest accomplishment?
I mean, in some moments, that some of my greatest accomplishments is just keeping my mouth shut. I think that's very true. See,
I think Joe's laughing. Joe is laughing.
So Joe Woodard is on.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Great to be here.
Joe's not having technical issues.
No.
He is a master of this stuff.
I thought I was too, like an hour ago, but apparently now, no, I'm not. So I'm
perfect positioning.
I'm going to take a picture of my.
I need to get my logo placement in view.
Yeah.
Nice.
There
you are.
Yeah.
How come somebody hasn't painted the wall yet?
You know, I haven't, and I need to put artwork on the wall, and I just haven't yet.
Paint it, scaling new heights.
I don't know. I'll figure something out.
We'll send someone.
I'm gonna hire an internal decorator or something.
Nice.
Wendy, we'll put Wendy in charge of that. She'll love it.
No. No. An internal decorator would be great. Yeah. Wendy has her strengths. Decorating is not one of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
So cute, though.
Well, hey, Joe, thanks for coming on the show. It's good to see your face and hear your voice. So how are things going?
They are going great. We are busy, of course, about a month out from the show. Matter of fact, my entire senior scaling team is still in the office right now at 7:52 Eastern Time, and this is a typical day for us, but it's all worth it. When that show comes together, 1,200 people all gather in the second largest JW Marriott in the country, all around Intuit products, definitely will be worth it.
Nice.
No, that's awesome. And I know we gave a pretty good breakdown the last time that you were on. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, I think. Any kind of recap for any new listeners / watchers?
You know, everything is just as we said before. I mean, by that point, everything was fairly locked in, so we shared the news that we were going to share. But, you know, there are going to be a lot of surprises. So what we can share and what people will see at Scaling New Heights are going to be two very, very different things. We're going to be having some announcements about the National Advisor Network, some new partnerships across the Intuit ecosystem that are going to take the network to the new level. And we're going to be revealing something at Scaling New Heights about the National Advisor Network that is going to change and radically improve the entire nature of the network. So that'll be revealed on Tuesday morning within the context of what we talked about last time I was on the show, that it is our mission and purpose to empower the advisors of small business. So everything we stand for has now come down to that single purpose, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is with the new initiatives we're going to launch. It's going to be very exciting.
Wow. Can you tell us anything about it, or is it super, super
Well,
secret?
no, there are some things that have been revealed. One is the National Advisor Network Institute. That is,
Ooh.
yes, our partner is to be disclosed, but we have an extremely prestigious, well-respected partner on the NAN Institute, and we're going to be offering coaching services to the advisors of small businesses. It's going to be collegiate style, meaning that you'll enroll semester by semester, and the training will be cumulative, just like an online college might be. We'll have our series of 101 courses, 201, 301, 401, until eventually, I suppose, theoretically, there could be a graduate of NAN Institute, but we haven't actually laid it all the way out through its senior class. Like many schools that start up, we just deal with the freshman class, and when the freshmen become sophomores, we build out the sophomore class. But in 4 years, we will have built an entire program of 101 to 401 training about how to grow a small business and how to grow a consulting and accounting practice. We think it's going to help, we know it's going to help our network members to take their practices to the next level, but it's also going to help our members help their clients to take their small businesses to the next level. And if you remember from last time, we said that our vision statement is to radically and positively impact the way small business operates through the advisors who support small business. So if we can build this NAN Institute in, it's going to help us all collectively accomplish that vision. That's
awesome.
one of the things that we're going to do.
And that's totally web-based kind of training?
It is. Or? Totally web-based, except that each time the National Advisor Network members gather already organically around other events, we might attach live in-person training, optional live in-person training.
Okay.
So if you again take the college model, you might have an entire semester of training, but you also might have a weekend lecture series that you attend, and you get so many credits for that sort of thing. And that's what we might do around, for example, into its fall event that's coming up that was press released about 2 months ago. Would be a great opportunity if that facility can permit it and the timeline can permit it to have something there. Obviously, it's scaling new heights. There's going to be opportunity in the future. And then there might be other kinds of special events and retreats throughout the year, too. So we're very excited.
No, that's awesome. I love that. And you said there was another thing. Are you able to mention that
well,
as well?
yes. So there is the National Advisor Network Institute, and then we have this really big game-changing benefit for National Advisor Network members, and unfortunately I can't disclose until the conference happens.
Sure.
But the other thing we're going to be launching in the fall is something called the App Academy, APP Academy, and it's going to be any kind of an application that talks to QuickBooks or QuickBooks Online is a candidate to be part of this App Academy. Well, what we've learned as we've dealt with pro advisors is they have only a cursory awareness of a lot of the products that are out there in the space, and they ask a lot of questions on the National Advisor Network forum over and over and over again, like if my client has this kind of a time tracking need, who should I go to? Or my client has this kind of a hosting problem, who should they go to? And we thought if we were to create an academy just focused on creating awareness around these apps, not developers coming in and selling their apps to our network members, because you can't sell an app in 15 minutes. But developers going in 15 minutes and providing a survey course of what their app does, what makes it distinctive, and how it benefits the QuickBooks user, small business owner. Then we collect these 15-minute segments, which are presented live, and we archive them. So if I've got a client that has some kind of a need out there that the core functionality of QuickBooks doesn't meet, love your shirt, by the way, got to have one. But if I have some kind of a core functionality, that's not a functional need that's not part of the QuickBooks core functionality, I can go out to this library and go, okay, well, I need to find out a time solution. And slowly over time, we're going to build up a library of 3 or 4 of the leading time providers, all providing what's distinctive about their products. And by watching those 3 or 4 15-minute segments, I can tell my client exactly what they need to choose. And get this, we are going to coach our members to say that survey process, if you're doing it on behalf of a specific client to make an informed recommendation, is billable. Now, just to attend App Academy is not. It's educational and it's beneficial, but it's not billable. But if I go up to research for client A who needs a specific solution, and my research helps me to determine this is the best course of action, that's a billable hour. So
Wow.
that's the second thing we're going to launch. And then we have a third one that's to be revealed.
Wow. Dawn, thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I actually, that's one of the things that's one of the hardest parts for a lot. Oh, wait, I don't think my video's on. I apologize.
Yeah, it is. I can see you.
Oh, you can see me?
I can see you.
Yeah.
I want you to see me, Joe, because I am on fire. I put no makeup on, but I did brush my hair, but it was like 12 hours ago. Okay, so you know what? I'm doing the best I can. I mean, for
I brushed
goodness
my
sake,
hair 2 hours ago. Can you see? It's still shining.
it looks so good. It looks really good. It looks really good. No, and that's, you know, interesting about that is that it's a bill. Everybody always is so concerned about the billable part, and just, you know, they should be, but we give away so much. We give away too much, and over the course of time, you realize that you have to step up your game a little bit and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to give this information away for free. And that's I don't know if it's like a growing, I don't want to call it a growing up thing because that's not fair. It's a part of your process of your business where you take a different step in a different direction and you say, hey, listen, you know what? It's time to build for that. And you know we've got to get people on board, and I don't need them to be on board. I mean, I want them to be on board.
Well, and I have a comment too when you're done. I have a comment about that.
I'm done. I'm not stepping on that.
Well, no, what I was going to say is that sometimes it doesn't hurt once in a while to offer something for free. I mean, I have been known, and I don't do it all the time, and I think it's a case-by-case basis where I have somebody who's kind of at their wit's end and they really don't know what to do. I don't mind spending 30 minutes on the phone walking them through something. I don't do that all the time. I mean, and so I think it's, and what I have found is the times that I have done that and the times that I have spent the time talking to that client or that colleague, it has come back, I mean, just over and over and over again, with that person being so grateful and so thankful, and I've gotten so much more work from it. So, yeah, you want to get paid all the time.
There's a line, though.
There is a line. There is a line, and I just hit it the other day. Like, I had somebody email me one of those quick questions, and I answered it, and it was a, hey, how do you do this in QBO question, and I have no problem answering those questions. If it's something I can answer right away, I go ahead and I do it. But then this person came back literally with a wall of text in the email, and it was something that was...
I delete those.
I don't. And so what I did was I forwarded it. This is why you have to have a great admin, right? And so I forwarded it to Katie, and I said, do me a favor, let her know that this is a billable consultation, that I have already answered her initial question, and that this is something that that is not going to be answered to anybody's satisfaction with a quick email, and I don't have the time to really spend to answer a wall of text. And so they're either going to say, yeah, that's great, and they're going to respect the fact that you're a consultant and they're going to want to pay for the time, or they're going to say, no thanks, I'll figure it out on my own. And so it's one of those things where you have to sort of, my rule is if I can really truly answer the question in a few minutes, just a super quick, here's how you do it, and it takes me less than 5 minutes to answer the email and send it off and on its way, I'll answer it. If it's something where I have to sit and think about it, and then it's something where I think maybe needs screenshots or I need more information, if it's going to take me more than 2 or 3 minutes to answer the email, I forward it to my admin and let her know that this is billable time, minimum 1 hour consultation fee, and that's it. So that's my general rule. So there's that.
Interesting.
Yep.
There's a rule.
That's my rule. I break them all the time, though.
All right, so my takeaway from that, Stacy, is the next time that I ask Wendy to email you QBO questions, she needs to break them apart into separate little emails. Is that what you're saying?
Bite-sized chunks.
Itty bitties.
Yeah, like itty bitty, fun size, like the fun size candy.
Bite size,
Wow.
right? Yeah.
Fun size.
Awesome.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, Joe, you're probably going to have a lot about stuff like that at Scaling Heights as well. You know,
Well, there is
value billing, sharing best practices.
A lot of that kind of advice, and I'll tell you, I've got in my keynote address, which I normally don't think through this far out, not because I'm a procrastinator, but because I tend to keynote about what's ever fresh on my mind. So I've been known to sort of finish these things out within 24 hours or even 12 hours. I'll get the finishing touches, and I think it kind of puts an emotional edge on the, well, in many ways, an emotional edge on the keynote. But I've got something, as we say down here in the Deep South, stuck in my craw, which is just our way of saying we can't get it off our brain. Okay, maybe you can bring that one up north, Dawn, and New England.
I think I will get the crap beat out of me if I say something like that up here in Connecticut. I'm just gonna say, and I would do anything for you, Joe.
Yeah.
That's
well, the problem is I don't think they know what a crawl is,
but
right?
You know,
so they don't know where it's stuck.
One of the reasons.
Right, exactly.
One of the reasons that John and I will do anything for Joe is because he told us about BC powder.
That's exactly right. We have a stash of. There's BC powder in our cabinet here.
I have some. I panic if I find that I have left, and I will literally text Kevin. I'll text my husband and I'll say, "OMG, I'm on my way to the airport right now. I don't have any BC powder in my bag," and I freak out if I have to travel and go on a trip without any BC powder. And do you know it comes in like cherry flavor? I just found this out. I just found this out.
It's not a good flavor. There's no such thing. You just have to hold your nose.
I know, but also the cherry flavor comes in a packet that doesn't make it look like cocaine.
Yes, exactly.
Billy Estes does cocaine. He doesn't really. No one quote me. But I thought he was. Joe.
We were at this dinner, and my chief operating officer pulls out BC powder, which comes in this little paper pouch, right? And you kind of have to roll it up and get it all just, like this, and then you lay it out on the table, and then he starts to bring it up to his face, right? And Dawn's thinking, okay, first you're doing this. Second, right here in front of us, God and everybody. And then he's looking at Dawn like she's nuts, and this was our way of learning that no one outside of the Southeast has ever heard of BC powder. But you don't snort it. You shove it down the back of your throat as fast as you can because it tastes horrible.
Oh, yeah.
And then you chase it with some water. But I'm telling you, buddy, in 30 seconds, your headache's gone. I mean,
I'm going to tell you what.
It's magic.
I panicked like I was going to be arrested, for goodness sake. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need this right now. Billy, I don't need this right now. And he was like, what? I'm like, no drugs at the table. Put your drugs away.
Oh, now, by the way, Billy could decorate my wall. No doubt about it.
Well,
and those who know Billy know that he could very well.
I am going to be all over him about the back wall, right, at Scaling Heights. I'm going to bring him, I might even bring him some paintings, maybe some markers, anything. So there's that.
I'm gonna put a poster of you, Dawn. Back
oh, that would be wonderful. Well,
there,
that's frightening.
that
Don't you want business? You don't want that. You don't want that, Joe. Don't frighten away your people.
But bringing it back around, the thing that stuck in my craw, because that's what got us off of this, is this whole idea, and I'm not gonna tell it as colorfully as I will in the keynote, but it's this whole idea of how we spend all of our energies picking up and cleaning up after our clients. All right, I'm going to use an analogy that Greg LaFollette gave me. Mine's more colorful in the keynote, trust me. Wendy's heard it. She was laughing out of her chair. But Greg LaFollette says that up to this point, QuickBooks Pro advisors have either been in the job of sharpening our clients' pickaxes so they can keep swinging at their QuickBooks, or we've been pickaxe swingers, meaning that, not that kind of swinger, but pickaxe swingers in that we've been like doing the QuickBooks work, you know, kind of alongside them or going in and helping them along the way. And what he's saying is, what if that whole model could now go away so that platforms, not solutions, but platforms like QuickBooks Online, with their own technology stacks all around them and their automation technologies that exist all around them, could end up being a pickaxe swinging machine, right? Solutions like Bill.com that just automate all of the payables, T-sheets that collect all of those field-based time entries. You just name it, right? What if the daily operations of the company just fed the general ledger? You know, receipt match with QuickBooks. What if you just take that picture and it just feeds the QuickBooks? Then you got bank feeds. Everything just feeds, so that you have a tunneling machine instead of a bunch of people swinging pickaxes, and the cave gets built in a fraction of the time. And this is the key, guys. This is the secret sauce to the whole thing. It's not that the machine replaces us. This is not. Who was the old axe swinger guy from the parable?
Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan. This is not a Paul Bunyan story where we're replaced by machinery. This is a story where we can finally get ourselves off the chains of data entry and play a higher level of advisory services with our clients. Because we still, through value billing, we still can charge the client for the products that we're producing, because we can manage this entire technology stack of automation, because the client doesn't know how to build that technology stack or maintain it. That's number one. The second thing we can do, and the second thing we must do, is we must validate it, we must verify it, and we must interpret it. If we do those three things while we're building and maintaining the technology behind validation, verification, and interpretation, then we are going to elevate ourselves in the minds of our clients. We are going to bill more than we have ever billed. The client is going to have more value than they've ever had, and the future is going to be bright. But the problem is, to get from A to B, we must change. We must embrace the cloud. We must embrace QBO plus the appropriate and applicable technology stacks. We must invest in ourselves, like through programs like NAN Institute, so that we know how to validate, verify, and interpret data, right? I mean, it's amazing to me how many pro advisors I run into, and they couldn't tell me the difference between liquidity and solvency, bless their hearts. So we say down, and you can say anything you want to about anybody, bless your heart, right?
I love that. Richard Nova taught me about bless your heart.
Yeah, I know. There are various interpretations of it, but
I love that.
The point is, there are a lot of them that don't know the difference between liquidity and solvency, a current ratio and a long-term rate. They don't know how to interpret the data. And it's because, and here's the thing, it's because they've never had to do anything other than swing a pickaxe to make a living. But what if they could go from swinging a pickaxe to actually designing systems, to designing machinery and building out solutions for their clients? Nice. That's the whole thing, is we got to get them there. And once they have all this time on their hands from not swinging pickaxes all day, they can make that leap. They can go there. Now here's the negative side of that, and then I'll give everybody a chance to kind of comment on it. The positive side is embrace that future because it's bright. Do it proactively. Go after it. But the negative side of it is, that was the carrot. The stick is, this is where the world is headed anyway. And there are people who've already embraced this kind of model, accountingdepartment.com, supporting strategies, back ops, growth force, you name it, right? There are McGladry. I mean, there are firms that are out there, BMRG, that are embracing this entire technology stack and automation, and they are way ahead of those who haven't. And they are going to define the space. They and the entire mass of others are going to define this space through business process outsourcing. So it's either embrace it and get ahead of the curve while there's still a curve to be ahead of, or it's going to be get left behind and hope.
Hey, that's what we've been saying on the show. You got to do it or get left behind. That's been our motto like 3 years. We've been saying that.
Got to do it or get left behind. And it's QBO plus the technology stack plus the business model wrapped around it. That trifecta is what's going to propel you into the future. All right.
Yep.
I love that.
That's great.
Speaking of trifecta,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that California Chrome is going to win the next race.
I have a good
What do you
feeling
think?
about it too.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
So it's a horse. It's horse racing.
Is it a
Kentucky
sport?
Derby.
Is it a
Preakness,
sport?
and now the Belmont. It's the Triple Crown.
So it's
horse
not a
racing.
sport. It's not really a sport. Horse
well,
racing
it's a
is
sport.
not a
I mean,
sport.
I think so. Horse racing.
It's a sport for the horses.
Sport for
Right.
the jockey.
They're athletic.
Right.
And for the jockey. Getting
Yeah.
tossed around.
It's
He's talking
pretty
about those guys
impressive.
get
You know
run
what?
over all the
Dawn and I had
time.
a discussion earlier today. She
It's
actually
a very
sent me a
risky
text
job.
message. Yeah. Well, she
being a
actually
jockey.
sent.
I would have been one, but I'm still tall. Never made
Yeah,
it.
you're out, buddy.
And I'm afraid of horses. But other than that, I would have been a really good jockey.
That brings me a question. Dawn sent me a text message today to tell me that to let
Tiger
me know
Woods is
that Tiger Woods
Is a golfer.
a golfer because I'm not the biggest sports fan, right? And so that's my thing. Like, I don't think golf is a sport. I think it's more of a pastime or a hobby, like bowling.
No. Are you out of your mind?
It's not a sport. It's not a sport.
Okay.
It has a ball.
Here's
it has
the thing.
a club.
No. Can you
Yeah.
pull a groin muscle?
Yes.
Golfing, then you're doing it wrong. I'm just
Do you
saying.
think you can't pull a groin muscle bowling?
I don't know. Bowling is a little sketchy because it's a little more active.
Hey.
If anything that you can do regularly with a beer in your hand while you're doing it
Well, that's everything.
is not
Let's be
really
real.
a sport. I'm just saying.
That's everything.
Hey,
Depends on your level. Sorry, Joe.
No, it's all
Anyway,
right. This
we're
is good.
hijacking.
I apologize.
I had a quick
I apologize.
trivia question for you guys, and then I actually have a good inventory question we got from the community that would be cool if Joe weighed in on. Here
Yeah,
his
that'd
take.
be awesome. Yeah.
But first, can anybody tell me the name of Paul Bunyan's ox?
Blue.
Babe.
Thank you.
Babe.
No.
Oh,
Babe.
I knew it
Babe.
began with B.
Babe the
Babe.
blue ox.
He was a blue ox, though, wasn't he?
He was
Or
blue.
she. I always thought it
His
was a
name
girl.
Babe.
I thought it was a girl because its name was Babe. Who names
Yeah,
the
it's
boy?
Well, Babe Ruth is not a girl.
It's true.
Ah, that's true.
Oh, and Stacy, Babe Ruth was a baseball player.
Thank you. I did know that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Here's this question. But no, I'm actually glad you don't know who Tiger Woods is. I think that's good.
I
That's
knew who
a good
Tiger
thing.
Woods was. I knew who
All right.
Tiger Woods was. That was what was so
Then-
funny.
Vendor is, and we can all weigh in on this one. I just would love to hear, Joe's take or Don's, whatever. It has to do with inventory and assembly. So, Vendor is building one of our assemblies with some of our parts, and one of his parts and his labor. So they have items that are typically built in-house. The business does. First, we build a sub-assembly comprised of labor, bags, raw material, and a label. So that's the sub-assembly. Second, we take 12 bags from the first build and labor and put them into small boxes. So third, we take 6 small boxes and labor and pack them into cases with a label and ship them. So there's 3 builds before the finished good is shipped.
But isn't one of those a disassembly? Because aren't you like building up a
Right.
thing and then breaking it back apart?
Right, where the unit measure comes into play, so it's going from 12 bags
okay.
into small boxes. And I'm
Right.
sure, Joe, you're saying, well, Fishbowl would do this really well,
Of
but
course, yeah, Fishbowl would do it exactly
Right.
perfectly well.
they're using QB, and so basically the questions are, how do I get the bags and boxes and cases out of packaging inventory into finished goods? And if we have to break any cases down into smaller boxes, how will I do that? Because that's hard with the unit of measure in QB, going higher to lower.
Yeah, and you're talking desktop, obviously, right? Because you're already
Right, yeah, oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, desktop, yeah.
The problem is you're dealing with effectively, you're dealing with an internal disassembly,
Yes.
and or a reverse assembly is the way it's sometimes called, and reverse assemblies are just not within QuickBooks desktop capability set. That
Right.
would be a perfect example where I would say to a client, you need to embrace a solution that will do reverse assembly.
Yeah, and I agree, so for me, I would say, and because of your experience with Fishbowl, because I would go that route, Joe, is because the workarounds, trying to get the unit of measure
Yeah.
to go from high to low is going to be tough, and I think you know, like Stacy and Don always say, if it's going to require that much rigidity and effort to make it even, you know, partially accurate in QuickBooks, you probably want to go with a third party that it's a lot easier to do it. And even though
I'll just say, both Activate and Fishbowl will handle that.
Yeah.
I mean, the capabilities of either one, so they can explore both solutions. But yep, I would definitely send them in that direction.
Yeah.
That's cool. I chimed in on the. Go ahead, Stacey.
I was going to say, if it were QBO, you would want to go with Exact Online.
Yes.
No, that is
that
true.
would be awesome.
That is.
Exact
Yep.
You could, you know what? You could also do Exact Online with desktop too, because it works with desktop, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Does it really? That's one I didn't know.
Yes, it does manufacturing and distribution for QBO and desktop. Great tool.
So Woody, you might be able to convert them from desktop to QBO and add Exact Online.
Do it. Yes. Let's do it. Woody and I taking over the world.
I'm not doing it.
QBO subscription at a time.
No, that's a good one. Thanks, Joe, for weighing in on that. So, any final thoughts on Scaling New Heights? You know, we want to get some people still there. It's in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, we're actually tracking very well on our numbers to, you know, break last year's records and have our typical growth year over year. So we're having a very solid conference. We're going to have 20% more people under the roof than there are rooms at the hotel.
Wow.
And the way that these pro advisors share rooms, you know, that's about what we need. We need about 20% more people under the roof than there are rooms in order to fill up all the rooms. So that actually helps us out these days. I just can't. I mean, I want to just bite my tongue because I want to give away all the great surprises, but you just won't believe some of the things that we're going to surprise you with, especially in our general sessions.
Cocaine and strippers.
No, none of that.
No.
Okay, good.
None of that.
Good.
But I will say that there are some people that go to Scaling New Heights and just blow off the general sessions. And if you've ever been in a general session at Scaling New Heights, it is not your daddy's Oldsmobile. I mean, we're not talking about, you know, people standing up and boring you to tears for an hour while you're in a crowded room thinking, can I leave without, you know, getting hit by a cameraman. That's not a general session at Scaling New Heights. There is tremendous energy and a lot of, again, surprises that come into play. We make announcements that resonate throughout the Intuit ecosystem, and we have thought leaders like Brad Smith, Frank Abagnale Jr., Luis Sanchez, all on the stage.
Don't get me started.
Oh,
I've already been warned about Frank.
Yeah, we have been warned that we are not, absolutely positively not allowed to stalk him at all. Wendy has given us explicit instructions to leave him alone.
Well, you know, it was Brad Smith who asked Wendy to give you those instructions. I just want you. I'm teasing you.
Not a really great listener.
No, he didn't. He didn't. If anybody's, don't you dare tweet that. That was not Brad Smith. I was just joking. But
I'm telling
Wendy did that very much on her own.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited,
awesome.
and so same website though, Joe. They can just go to scalingnewheights.com and sign up from there.
Yeah, just you know, and there's still time to jump in. You got 9 days before the room block rate that we've negotiated closes.
Nice.
And there are probably only about 9 rooms left anyway. So go out there in the next 9 days and grab those 9 rooms. Jump in. You will not regret that you did. So. And then you can see Woody, Dawn, and Stacy all live on the stage doing Radio Free QuickBooks.
Oh, it'll be something.
Oh, yeah.
We're not
I
sure
know.
what. I already have wardrobe all picked out. I even bought new heels for it, I just want to say.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all set.
I'm all set.
Well, Joe, we appreciate you coming on the hangout tonight. It was a lot of fun. And
Great
thanks for answering that inventory question. I had a feeling.
That's good.
Third party.
Love you, Joe.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in about a month in San Antonio, along with all your listeners. And it's always great to be here with you guys. I look forward to the next time.
Peace out. Thanks, Joe.
Take care now.
Take care.
Love that baby.
All right. Bye.
See, and that was fun, and he got to weigh in on an inventory question, which I really liked. That was awesome, too.
Oh, yeah. Right into the show.
Yeah.
Guy just gets right in there.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, Stacy, I have something interesting. I was on the community for many hours today.
Yes,
and,
you were. You were indeed.
Answering questions. I did have a little detour on LinkedIn, which was a good experience for me.
Good. You did?
Thanks for chiming in on that, Fred. Here, you know how in the desktop, when you're on a journal entry, and Don, you know how you're in desktop, when you're on a journal entry, you can just literally right-click and choose to either copy or duplicate that journal entry. However, in QBO, I was not able to find any kind of way to copy the previous entry or duplicate it in any way, not in the More tab or anything like that. I did send it up. I was wondering if you knew something I didn't know. But the question is, if we have to repeat a journal entry, and you're talking in QuickBooks Online, how to copy the previous entry to make changes and create a new one.
So what I would recommend doing is...
I want to answer.
Okay.
Go,
Dawn's going to do a QBO question!
Well, it might not be the right answer, but this is what I would do if I was to guess, that's what I'm doing. I feel like I'm on Jeopardy right now. It's the final question. I would memorize it and then open it up and make my changes from there. That's what I would do.
You mean recurring? Set it as a recurring?
Recurring, that's correct.
Right on.
I want to give you a big fat kiss right on your face right now. I'm so proud of you.
Right on my big
awesome.
forehead.
I feel like Mama Bird has pushed the baby bird out of the nest.
Oh no, I'm gonna die if you push me out.
And
That's
now
worked out.
And you're taking your first flight. I'm so proud.
I still need the worms though. Don't be letting me down.
I'll still feed you, honey bunny.
Okay, because
I'll take care of you.
That would be what I would guess, because I, as a workaround queen, that's the first thing I would do. I would do all the desktop workarounds. That'd be one of them.
That is exactly what I was going to tell Woody. I'm so just ridiculously excited.
What's that? I missed that. What happened?
And I actually participated in a QuickBooks Online question.
What happened? Woody's like texting.
And I didn't. And
he doesn't even hide his phone. He's not even like trying to hide his phone underneath.
He's trying to check the game
That's
score.
terrible. That's terrible.
He's trying to game score check.
John, you were right on it. Thanks for chiming in. Recurring template. Because
you know what? I was kind of
copy.
excited that I might know something.
And you do. That was the second answer I gave on the community, because first I was like, well, before I answer, just go down to the More option on the journal entry.
The little bubbles.
Right, and then so I go in there, I'm like, oh, he's right. Yeah, there's no way to do that. And then someone chimed in, you just right-click on it and choose duplicate. I'm like, no, I think that's
the desktop.
So, yeah.
Which is why I love the desktop.
And then finally I could put in my answer, which is exactly what you said. Create a recurring template, which is QBO's version of memorized transactions. That's very exciting, Dawn. Thank you for that.
Listen, that's it. That's all awesome. I got for like probably another month.
All right. Now, I've written all the invoices from my client list. Where do I go to print them?
Wait, what?
First of all, you don't.
This is also QBO.
You don't print them.
I've written.
Number one.
So he basically entered invoices for all the customers that needed invoices. That's what he meant by I've written all my invoices for my client list. Where do I go to print them?
Oh.
They're looking just for the best practice there.
So I would, if this were me, and he had a big fat bunch of invoices that he needed to print all at once, I would, and I've got to move my computer, and I apologize for because my my laptop is about to die, so I apologize. I would actually go to your client list. So go to the what's it called in the new QBO, Woody? You go to the Customer Center.
Customers tab, and basically it is a customer's list, and to get to a respective customer record, you have to drill into the customer, and then it's a true customer center, but it's respective to each customer.
If you go to, you can go to like basically the customer's window, and then you want to filter it by open invoices, and then over on the left-hand side, you can choose all the open invoices, and then you can click select all, and then you can batch
print
or
Damn,
batch
that's
send.
Good. That's better than my answer. I said.
It's just what I would do.
Oh, and I even called mine a best practice. That is a lot of gall there, because mine was not that. Mine was like from the transactions tab, click on sales, filter the window by invoice, and then the batch action. Okay, so I was kind of 6 of one, half dozen the other.
Yeah, you want to go basically, and if you're still on the old QBO, like me,
Yeah, we're not talking about
and
that.
my Kildall services.
Yeah.
You're going to go to your client tab, and for me, I have my menu memorized so that if I click on the client tab, my income list is right there. You're going to click on that. Basically, you're going to filter that money bar, regardless of what version of QBO you're using, old or new. You're going to filter that money bar by open invoices, go over to the left-hand side, select all, and either batch, print, or batch email, or whatever it is that you want to do. But don't print it on paper.
No. I don't know what he was doing. But no, that's really good. Do appreciate that. Hey, you know how we bought lettuce? You know, the platform?
Yes. We got 1 more minute.
Okay, I was in there, and when you print, it prints to a Google Drive, which is pretty sweet, like a Google Doc.
I know.
Like
Isn't that awesome? I kind of love that app.
All right, so we're done with our questions for this week. We'll get to more next week, definitely. We did want to thank our sponsors for some reason that window's not coming up for me, but the sponsors for the QB show, formerly Radio Free QuickBooks. But again, if you go to radiofreeqb.com, you'll be brought there. But if you go to the QBshow.com, you'll be brought to the RFQ site. Anyway, we got tons of content there still. So Avalara, Avatax, again, sales tax sophistication. We got Exact Online, that manufacturing wholesale add-on to QBO and desktop. We also have T-sheets like Stacy's T-shirt and Don's jacket, tsheets.com. They're not a T-sheet company. They're actually timesheets, time tracking, GPS tracking, and they're all over the world. As well as Unidata, unidataIT.com, QuickBooks Microsoft Office hosting, and Zencash, AR services, zencash.com. AR tracking services, take over collections, thank you notes, reminders, stuff like that. They have a cool action timeline. All of those hook up to QBO, QuickBooks Desktop. Yeah, all of them, because Unidata would have, right, got it. That would be for the hosting.
Yep.
Let's thank our sponsors, and hopefully you guys dig the new format. We'll figure out the whole sharing out while other people are talking thing.
In the chat room,
I knew that would
very
be trouble.
important.
Yep.
Chat room.
We're figuring it out.
Good
You know
chat.
what? This is our first run, so we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So love the thing. So no more Blog Talk Radio. We're solely on Google Hangouts, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday, same time, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. Don, Stacy, talk to you guys next week.
Peace out.
Okay.
Throw away thumb drives, no attachments. Get the files anywhere when you're permitted access. What's the matter? Frustrated with the hassle? Jump up in the cloud and join us in the castle. We're high up in the clouds and we're never coming down. So get up, get up, get up, get up in the cloud. High up in the cloud and we're never coming down. So get up, get up, get up, get up in the cloud. Throw away thumb drives, no attachments. Get the files anywhere when you're permitted access. What's the matter? Frustrated with the hassle? Jump up in the cloud and join us in the castle. We're high up in the clouds and we're not